This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, today we are going to show what is PEGA and why we need PEGA in this session. So this is just a demo session. In this we are going to show why we need PEGA and what are the different uses of the PEGA. So in the later session we will go through the PEGA platform completely. So this is just basically a overview of the PEGA. What is PEGA? So if you can see, this is the screen for what is the PEGA. So you are able to see my screen, right? So PEGA means actually this is an American company which was developed in established in 1983. So this PEGA technology is not a new thing. It was already there in industry from last 30 years. So, but basically people are getting to know now because of its benefits. There are a lot of benefits with this PEGA tool. That's why people are getting to know this PEGA in these days very well. So actually we have derived this PEGA word from Pegasus, though it means basically the horse with wings. So if you can see the logo of the PEGA also, it will be like horse only. So basically they have derived this word from Pegasus. So actually this PEGA is a BPM tool. So we can see what exactly is a BPM tool and what is the methodology which we are following in the BPM. So basically the BPM full form is business process management. Business process management means, so whatever we are going to do here, we are going to do in process by process. The step by step. That's why we are calling it as a BPM tool. And whatever we can call it, PEGA is a completely an application. So whatever we develop in PEGA, we will call it as an application. So basically in PEGA means an application, and the PEGA systems will provide some basic applications to us, and those we will call as OOTD applications. And based on that applications itself, we are going to create our own application and we are going to customize the applications according to our requirement. So suppose if you are working for a banking project, according to the banking flow, we are going to develop our application. Based on, but we are going to create based on the PEGA application. PEGA will defaultly provide some application to us, some basic applications. We will have some, those we will call it as a framework application. So we can, once we starts with the course, we can know what is the framework application and what are the implementation applications. So we will have the application things. Whatever we create in the PEGA, it is completely, we will create in application itself. So process, so here we called it as a business process management, right? So process is a way of doing things, like it will contains functions, methods, and everything. So process means, suppose if we want to claim something, it will go for approvals or rejection. So a process may contains the smoother flow or a rejection flow. So whatever we are going to handle everything in the PEGA. So basically PEGA is a word, here what we have discussed, like what it is a BPM tool, and whatever we develop, it is called as an application. And why PEGA? So many of you have a question like, why we want PEGA? PEGA means, suppose if you want to know coding, basically it is no coding. Like if you want to go with other languages, C, C++, or Java, so people should have a fear, like they have to write the lot of coding and lot of lines we have to write. But in PEGA, we don't have that. We need not to write number of lines anyway. We just need to utilize the features which are available in PEGA. PEGA is basically a tool which is developed on the Java. So whatever, it will just provide the features to us and we have to use them. Suppose the when condition. In the C or C++, we will write code to write some when condition. But in PEGA, what we will do is we will just, excuse me, so we will just use the when rule which is already available in the PEGA. So that's why we need not to write multiple lines of coding. And one more thing is the production costs are very less. Suppose if you want to do a real-time project, or in the real time, if you want to go with a project for the banking or the insurance using Java, if you want to develop with if you want to develop, it might take 6 months or 7 months. But in PEGA, the same work can be achieved in 2 months. So mainly the production time is less and the cost is less. And we are providing a best practices and good benefit to the customers. That's why the many companies are trying to opt PEGA for their developing. I mean, for their features, they are using the PEGA. Basically, it will take less time and it will provide the best outcome for the whatever we are developing. And development is easy. I mean, because whatever we are developing, we are not writing number of lines. So as we are not writing number of lines code, it will be very easy for the developers to develop the application whatever we are developing in the PEGA. And the error redundancy will also be very less because we are not writing hundreds of lines of code. It will be very easy. Although if you have some errors, it will be very easy to find out the errors. And we have some built-in features to sorry, we have some built-in features to trace the errors. I mean, PEGA has provided everything as a, I mean, the rules. So whatever we create in PEGA, we will be calling them as the rules. So the maintenance is very low. I mean, it will be very less and it will be very easy. And the processing is also very fast. And we don't need to consider about the security. It will be very good. And as we are developing on the, we are not writing the multiple lines of code, the performance will also be good. And here one more thing is, suppose if you want to expertise in some other technologies, we might need it help of some other database or some business logics. But in PEGA, we don't need any database, I mean database knowledge here. PEGA will basically provide how to contact with tables and everything, how to fetch the data from tables and everything. PEGA will defaultly provide. We have to use those rules and we have to fetch the data accordingly. So we need not to, I mean, need not to be expert in the database, and we need not to be expert in any business logic, or and we need not to have any previous experience in, I mean, other technologies. So as I mentioned, error redundancy will be very less as we are using the, I mean, features of the PEGA. And we will have the effective resource utilization here. That's why many people are opting for PEGA. Basically, it will have a very less coding, and we are going to have with a less cost and with a less time. Suppose if you join as a developer in any PEGA application or in any project, they're just going to provide one URL to them, and we don't need any access other things, access related issue. Sometimes if we join in Java things, we might need to get the access for number of apps and number of things we should get installed in our laptop. But here for the PEGA, they will just provide a URL and we need not to have any, I mean, suppose if we join today, from tomorrow onwards we can provide our complete day for the project itself. So basically, we don't need any other time waste. We don't have any other time waste things and all that. So here, what is business process? So business process, as I mentioned, the PEGA is a business process management tool. So what exactly is business process? Business process is just a collection of events, activities, decisions, actors, and what is the outcome of the project. So collectively, whatever we do in the project, we collectively call them it as a business process. So it includes the outcome as well. Suppose let's see few examples of the business process. Suppose if I mean an insurance project if you are working on, and if some accident occurs to a person, then he has to go and raise a claim. So once that claim has been raised, then the insurance company has to approve or reject the claim. So once approved or rejected, so suppose if the claim has been approved, then money has to be credited into the user who has raised the claim. So all this, this is a step-by-step process. So everything collectively we are calling it as a process. So everything, all these things, whatever the activities which we are doing, whatever the decisions, like whether it might be the approve or reject, what are the actors involved in them, like who are going to approve or the reject. I mean, what are the resources and what is the outcome, whether it is approved or we crediting the money to the account. Everything will come under a business process. So collectively we call it as a business process, and in PEGA we are going to handle it collectively. That's it, we are calling it as a BPM tool. So as of now we have seen what is business process. Now we will see what is business process management as a whole. So business process management is a body of principles And I mean, it consists, suppose like the project, we have to take the requirements, then we have to develop the project, then we have to deploy the project into the production. So everything collectively, we are calling it as a business process management. From gathering the requirements to development and then deploying the, I mean, things into the production. So we are doing process by process and step by step. That's why it is called as a business process management. So PEGA is one of the BPM tools. And I am not saying that PEGA is only the tool for BPM. We have lot other tools in the market which is also comes under BPM tools. Suppose these are the few examples of the BPM tools like PEGA, Cordis, Appian, Oracle BPM, IBM BPM, and everything. So, but PEGA is most popular because it is following every methodology which we have in the business process management. So, it is one of the PEGA tool, and it has very most popular because it is providing very, I mean, all features to the developers which they can develop. Now, business analysts all also we are having different features. PEGA is providing different versions like 7, 8. When we have started, it has started with like 5, 6, 7. Now it is in 8. So for every version, it is providing some enhancement to the PEGA tool. So basically, with those enhancements, what is happening is we are going to deliver best results to the customer. That's why PEGA becomes most popular here. So we can see what are the advantages of the BPM. So whenever we follow a business process management, it will definitely give a better outcome, and it will be a faster, and it will be more effective. As I have mentioned, I mean, as we are following everything in the BPM, that's why the PEGA becomes this most popular, and we are going to provide best results to the customers. That's why whenever one customer is opting the PEGA technology or PEGA tool, they are again coming and using the PEGA tool because of the best outcomes, which is following the BPM methodology. So suppose if, I mean, it will have an ability to quickly change the business conditions as well. Suppose if we have worked on some conditions and if we want to change some other business conditions as per the business requirements, it has a quick adaptability. I mean, we can change with a minimal resources and minimal time. That's why I mean, everyone is opting for the PEGA, and we are going to not only the faster, we are going to provide the code with quality and with the number of errors less. And as I mentioned, as we are having the less time and less resources, it will definitely have the less IT cost, and it will reduce the duplications, and it increases the performance and everything. These are the different advantages of the BPM, and all these advantages we are going to provide with PEGA. So whatever we have mentioned here, everything is achievable with PEGA. That's why we are opting for PEGA. So this is BPM methodology. So BPM methodology, what is exactly a BPM methodology? Suppose we have C or Java. So what we are going to do in that, we are going to use the OOPS concept. What are the, I mean, you might heard about the OOPS concept if you are from IT background, like encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and everything. So whatever we develop in C or Java, we are going to use these OOPS concepts. But in BPM methodology means it has set of principles like business flows, business rules, rule database, and rule engine. So these are the things which we are going to follow in PEGA as well. We are going to have these business flows, rules, database, and engine. So let's see. So in here in BPM methodology, what exactly we are calling, and in PEGA terms, what exactly we are calling them. So business flows. In PEGA terms, we will call it as the process flows. Business rules. Business rules means PEGA rules. So whatever we create in an application, I mean, PEGA is an application, right? So whatever we create in an application, if we want to customize the application as per our requirement, whatever we create in PEGA, we are calling each of them as a rule. So what business rules is nothing but PEGA rules. And business rule database, it is nothing but rule based database. So I mean, PEGA is going to have separate, I mean, the database for storing the rules. What are the rules which were created? Suppose the PEGA system has released some version, it is going to store its rule instances, right? PEGA will provide some OOTB rules. For that we will have some database, that is rule based database. And business rules engine. So business rule engine means on which we are going to run this PEGA. So this is a process command. So we call PEGA as a PRPC, means PEGA Rules Process Command. PRPC full form is PEGA Rules Process Command. So whatever we develop in PEGA, which we are calling them as a rules, PEGA rules, and that we are going to run on the process command. That's why we are going to call it as a PRPC, PEGA Rules Process Command. So PEGA rules are implemented from the Java language. Suppose if I have created a when rule in the PEGA application, so it used to build the Java at the backend. So we are not going to touch anything from that code. We are not going to see anything like what is created in Java. Just whatever the rules which we are creating on the PEGA at the backend, what will happen is it will create its own code for the Java. So due to that only we are going to have we are going to develop in less time. Suppose if we are going to develop some logic, so we will just use the features and we will just use the UI part which PEGA has provided. At the back end, what PEGA will do is it will develop its own Java code. So whatever we develop in PEGA, it is going to develop its own Java code. I mean, basically it is built on PEGA, right? That's sorry, it is built on Java, right? So whatever we develop as a PEGA rule, it will convert into the Java code and process commander. So process commander is nothing but a program. So Java language and a program. So whatever we write it as a Java language, it will be a complete program. So rule-based database. So here in PEGA, we use PGSQL as our database server. This database server contains PEGA rules. So whatever the rules which were provided by the PEGA systems will be stored in PGSQL. So this is only for storing these PEGA rules which were provided by the PEGA application. Default applications we will have right in the PEGA. So those will be stored in this PGSQL database. Now we will see what is PRPC. So I have mentioned PEGA rules process commander. So what exactly this PEGA rules process commander means? So it is a comprehensive platform for building and deploying the BPM and CRM decision management and case management applications. So PEGA, we will have the case management part. So whatever, in the application, whatever the process which we want to develop, we will be developing in a case way. So that's why we are calling it as a case management application. So basically, this PRPC is a comprehensive platform. I mean, it is a platform to develop the PEGA applications. So it is powerful, flexible and flexible platform that can do almost anything. I mean, it will mainly what will it do it will focus on automating our work. Automating our work means, so suppose automating programming, like we are just develop using the features which were provided by the PEGA, but at the back end what it is doing, it is converting it into the Java. So it is used to automating our work and automating our programming. So here these are the different advantages of the PRPC. It will mainly focus on the automatic code generation, inbuilt code, and the dev time and cost will be reduced. So the cost will be reduced and the processing and the performance will be better. So operate what we need when we want to, deploy and run the PEGA in our environment, in our personal laptops. So basically we need an operating system, whether Windows or Linux. Mostly we will use this Windows only, and the database. So PEGA doesn't own any database here, but it will support all types of database. So it depends upon our projects at the runtime. Suppose some projects might have their SQL database and some projects may have the Oracle and some projects may have the DP2. So it will support all the database. So we just need to connect our PEGA application with this database. So whatever we create, it will get stored in those particular database. Basically, PEGA doesn't own, but it will support all the types of the things. So development kit, it will be Java JDK because as it is a built on Java application, and PEGA framework. So if you can see PEGA, as I have mentioned earlier, PEGA is an application, and PEGA systems will provide, the PEGA tool will provide basically some default applications. Those we will call it as PEGA framework that we can see in the future classes. Suppose we will have the PEGA rules as some application. So whatever we create, we will be creating on top of that. So as we are creating on top of that, we will be calling that as a implementation application. So we can see what are the framework and the implementation applications in the further class. So basically this PEGA all will get when we install one thing, it will all get installed as one package and we can just run. It will be like we have to start in our command prompt, and it will be open in Internet Explorer. It will look like just a URL part, and we have to log in with our username and password. So that also we are going to explain in further classes, like how we are going to deploy this PEGA in our system. So access to PEGA. So a PEGA is, as I have mentioned, it is just a web application, and when we join the projects also, they will just provide an URL. It will be like a Google URL or mail URL. So we just need to enter that URL, and we have to enter our username and password just like other things. So PEGA, you can see itself a web application, and this web application is developed based on the Java. Internally, it uses Java, as I have mentioned earlier. So developing application using PEGA. So as I have mentioned, we have separate applications which were provided by the PEGA, and based on using those applications, we have to create our own applications according to our requirement. So what we do in PEGA, what we do exactly is we are going to develop the application. So whatever we are going to create in PEGA is we will call it as an application, and whatever the rule, whatever the work which we are going to have in PEGA, we are calling it as the rules. So whatever basically we are going to develop it as an application, and in that application, whatever the features which we are going to create, we will be having it as a rules. So it is basically a set of rules in order to design an application. So basically, let's have a quick overview about the certifications and the technical work we do using the PEGA. So in market, we will have two types of certifications, like business purpose certification and technical certifications. So business purpose certification means it will be like, the business analyst jobs we will have for the PEGA. So whoever is interested in the business analyst types of jobs, they have to do these certifications like business architect or analyst, marketing consultant, senior marketing consultant, and a decisioning consultant. So we will have one more type of jobs like for the developers. So though for the developers, we will have technical certifications like system architect and senior system architect. So system architect, we have to do the system architect in 1 to 3 years, and the senior system architect in above 4 years. But nowadays, what PEGA systems people are doing is they are going to colleges and train the students. So from college itself, they are completing system architect and senior system architect. So right now, if everyone is looking for these two certifications, if you want to go as a PEGA developer, the system architect and senior, this will be called as CSA and CSSA. So we are going to have one more certification for the technical. This will be a lead system architect, and this we are going to do after our 8 or 9 years of experience in the PEGA. So this is basically an architect job. So I have mentioned like PEGA is completely an application, right? So how application should like, and whatever the thing this architect is going to do. So after 10 years of experience or some experience, if we have some good experience in the PEGA, then we are going to have this lead system architect. And this lead system architect here is going to have in two parts, one LSA 1 and LSA 2. For the LSA 1, most of the people will be able to complete the LSA 1, but this LSA 2, it will be like a real-time project. They will give one requirement, and we have to develop the application with best practices. So based on that, they will verify and give the certificate for this lead system architect. So this will not come into our bucket, as initially we have to complete this system architect and senior system architect. So mostly we will have in market, we will have 80% of jobs for the developers and 20% of jobs for the business analyst. We will have one more role for the PEGA, like UI specialist. So this UI specialist is like, whatever the skins, how the application should look like, which color we want to put, which font we want to keep, and everything will be taken care by this UI specialist. So for this UI specialist also, we have one certification called as UI specialist. So whoever does this UI specialist will have to do that type of work. How we are going to, but this UI specialist will also have the um, I mean uh, complete knowledge on the rules which were present in the PEGA, and complete knowledge on the features provided by the PEGA. So basically most of the people will do these two certificates and will have some experience. Later that they will do this UI specialist, and if they are interested then they will move to the UI specialist things.